immediately after a disaster, what people most need is to have a sense of safety and security restored. And so we use the term psychological first aid to talk about the type of support that's most important for people in the immediate aftermath. And psychological first aid is just a common sense, humane way of being able to meet people's practical and emotional needs above all else. And so it includes things like restoring people's safety, helping them to be in a safe place, providing them with practical things like water and food and shelter. But it's also things like helping to calm them down, listening to them if they need to talk about what they've been going through or how they're feeling, but only at a level that they feel comfortable with. That's most important. It's also things like reconnecting people with the friends and family, their support networks, people that they feel loved and cared for by. It's also about promoting their capacity to be able to take care of themselves and to take care of others without them feeling like you're pushing them away, but helping them to realise that they do have a lot of their own resources that are valuable. And it's also about helping them to re-establish some of the normal routines that they would normally be living by. What children need following a disaster is comfort, reassurance, and to have their sense of safety and well-being restored. And there's a number of ways in which parents and carers can do that. Giving your child more affection and more attention perhaps than you have been. Get plenty of hugs and reassurance can be helpful. Listening out to children's stories and helping to normalise their feelings, so letting children know that it's okay and normal for them to feel in the way that they're feeling. Giving children opportunities to express their feelings, so children won't always express how they're feeling through words, but maybe spending more time playing with the children and giving them opportunities through different forms of play for them to express how they're feeling. Re-establishing routines is really important to help children feel a sense of control and safety, and often routines get enormously disrupted following a disaster. So that might be having to re-establish a new normal of routine, particularly if a family is living away from their home as a consequence of the disaster. And so things like routines and rhythms around meal times and bed times and rest times and things like that can be really important. Listening to children's concerns about what's going on and correcting any misperceptions they might have about what was happening and reassuring them that they are safe. Another important way in which parents can help children to feel safe and secure after a disaster is to be looking after themselves. So when parents are looking after themselves and have got their own support networks to get their own support from, children tend to thrive under those conditions. And the final point would be protecting children from being exposed to too much media about a disaster or an event that they've been involved in. It's also important. One of the things that parents and carers can look out for in children to work out whether they're significantly distressed following a traumatic event like a disaster is changes in what would ordinarily be their normal behaviour. So that might be changes in the way in which they play, or changes in their spontaneous conversations, or changes in their pattern. So they might be more clingy than usual, they might be withdrawn more so than usual, they might be having more tantrums than you expect, more fussy eating behaviours, having more trouble getting to sleep or waking more in the night, and generally being more clingy. Those can be some of the signs. So we tend to tell parents to look out for changes in normal behaviour as an indicator that a child might be distressed.